I had long suffered from the bullying of my wife's first love, yet my wife forced me to donate my kidney to him. When I refused, she slapped me and called me a heartless monster. Later, when I was in a near-fatal car accident, my wife insisted that the doctors complete the kidney transplant first. He has 2 kidneys, it won't kill him. She didn't know I only had 1 kidney left. When I died and became a wandering soul, hovering near her, she was sitting outside the operating room, praying with tears in her eyes. Please, bless Ethan and his surgery. I was not the one she was thinking of. Ethan, that was her first love. And I, Liam, the legal husband of Chloe, had died on an operating table 1 floor above. Ethan's surgery was successful, and Chloe rushed to his bedside, tears filling her eyes. Ethan, I'm so glad you're all right. I'm relieved as long as you're safe. Thank goodness I got Liam's kidney to you in time. If anything happened to you, what would I do? Her voice trembled. She was indeed terrified. I watched them, lost in their tender moment, and felt as if my heart was being torn apart by a knife. Just moments ago, I had been in a car accident. When they brought me to the hospital, the doctors contacted my wife, Chloe. The loss of blood was causing me to lose consciousness, but I could still hear the tap of Chloe's heels as she rushed into the hospital. My heart beat in time with her footsteps. Wait a minute. Transplant his kidney to Ethan first. He's not going to make it otherwise. Her words nearly made my heart stop beating. The doctor was visibly shocked by her request. The patient's current condition is not good. Chloe's voice was sharp with tension. I can't wait any longer. Ethan is in a bad way. I can't let anything happen to him. Do the transplant first. He has 2 kidneys. It won't kill him. And so I was rushed into the operating room to have my kidney transplanted into Ethan. What Chloe did not know was that I only had 1 kidney left. When the doctor discovered my condition, he tried to inform Chloe. One of the assistants stopped him. Don't bother. His family wouldn't care even if he died. I forced my eyes open and recognized him as Ethan's friend. His words sealed the fate of my remaining kidney. In the end, I lost both kidneys and died on the operating table due to massive blood loss. As he predicted, my family did not care at all. She was still concerned about her successful first love. When the doctor tried to tell Chloe about my death, she was holding Ethan's hand and looked annoyed. Don't mention that man to me. Let him go and rot somewhere. Chloe was the largest shareholder of the hospital, and no one dared to defy her. So my body was sent to the cold morgue, and my soul still hovered around the 2 of them. Ethan feigned concern. Chloe, are you really not going to see Liam? After all, he just had surgery as well. Chloe continued to peel an apple for him, not stopping. Don't worry about him. He's an evil and selfish man, and he's not worth me seeing him. I only want to look after you now. If he hadn't refused to donate his kidney before, it wouldn't have led to your sudden health crisis and suffering today. He's just bad luck. She fed Ethan the apple, looking lovingly. Of course, I hadn't wanted to donate my kidney to Ethan. Why would I give an organ to the man who had bullied me? In winter, I was pushed into the lake wearing nothing but my school uniform, while a crowd laughed. During a flag-raising ceremony, Ethan had hidden my school uniform. When I finally found it, it was covered in ink. I had no choice but to be punished for not wearing it. And Chloe had watched all of this and said, Ethan was just joking around. If you take it to heart, you're too petty. Chloe had been spending her days at the hospital to look after Ethan, who was suffering from kidney failure. I had been working myself to the bone and had a high fever. I used the fever as an excuse to ask her to buy me some medicine. Surprisingly, she agreed. When she came back, I thought it was for me. Liam, you and Ethan are a match. Come to the hospital with me now. I was frozen as I saw the joy on her face. Chloe, I will never give him my kidney. Forget it. Her anger rose immediately. Liam, can you show some sympathy? People have 2 kidneys. What's the big deal? Why do you have to be so selfish? Her questions made my head spin. I clenched my fists. Chloe, I will never give a kidney to someone who has bullied me. Never. She slapped me hard, and my face was stinging. Liam, you are such a heartless person. You're still using those words to slander Ethan? Are you jealous of him? Chloe never believed that Ethan had bullied me, despite having witnessed it herself. She looked at me, Liam, no wonder you were bullied. You deserved it. Her words were worse than her defending Ethan. How can you say that? Even if someone else had said that, Chloe shouldn't say it. It was her who had saved me from bullying. Now she said that I deserved it. Chloe turned to leave. I grabbed her. Chloe, please take me to the hospital, please? She pulled her hand away. It's just a fever. Why are you making such a fuss? Can't you take a taxi yourself? I could, but I wanted to see her. Don't get in my way. I need to see Ethan. I shouldn't have wasted my time looking for you. Her words were full of disgust. She left, and that was the last time we saw each other. A nurse, seeing my pathetic state, wanted to contact my other relatives, but I didn't have any. I was an orphan. In the end, they could only contact my friend from high school, Steve. When Steve arrived at the hospital, he stared at my corpse, shocked. He was heartbroken. How is this possible? How could this happen? I watched his hands trembling on my body, and I was devastated. Steve was the first one to cry for my death, and probably the only one. The nurse looked at my body with pity. When he was brought in, his wife had his kidney transplanted to another man. He died from massive blood loss. It's so wrong. Her own husband's life wasn't as important as another man's. Yes, even strangers thought it was wrong. But Chloe was happy to do it. Steve ran straight to Ethan's room. Inside, the two of them were about to kiss. Steve looked at the couple. Chloe, how could you do this to Liam? Did you want to kill him so that you could be with this adulterer? My heart trembled as I watched Chloe. I wanted to know her answer. Steve, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything to Liam. He was an orphan, a waste of space. It's an honor that I married him. Don't blame me, and don't involve Ethan. He's not an adulterer. She stood in front of Ethan, in a protective stance. Her words were like daggers. As a soul, I shouldn't be in pain. But why did I still feel it? How can you betray the dead Liam? Chloe was stunned, and then she sneered. What? What kind of lies has Liam been spreading this time? Last time, it was a fever. Now it's death? He's a liar. It's disgusting. Tell Liam that I saw through his lies. If he keeps making a fuss, I'll divorce him. She said the word divorce, like it didn't matter. Maybe since Ethan had come into the picture, she had wanted that. Steve tried to argue, but Ethan coughed weakly. Chloe, the noise is making my head spin. Chloe's expression changed. She had security take Steve away, like he was trash. Steve was my best friend, and Chloe knew that. But she still treated my friend like this. She didn't care about me. She only cared about Ethan. I wasn't there anymore. Chloe, you're so kind to me. If I hadn't gone overseas, we might have been married. Chloe leaned on him, blushing. After this experience, I've realized that I need to cherish the people I have. Chloe, are you willing to divorce Liam and be with me? I rushed towards them, wanting to grab Chloe's hand, but my hand passed through her. I do. She didn't want to miss this chance. I didn't look at her. I just sat on the floor, hugging myself. It was so cold. How could a spirit feel the cold? The next few days, Chloe stayed at the hospital. She spent the time looking after Ethan. My body was still in the basement. Before going home, she kissed Ethan. Ethan, I'm going home to settle things with Liam. Wait for me. I followed her home. On the table, there was a signed divorce agreement, all crumpled up. She scrunched it up and threw it into the bin. Coward. He didn't even dare to say it to my face. No, I had wanted to say it, but I was too late. After my fever went down, I had printed out a divorce agreement. I looked at the space for my signature, but I couldn't move my pen. Then, I received a call from an unknown number. Liam, it's been a while. I knew that voice. It was Ethan. His voice was weak, yet demanding. Liam, you know my situation. Can you please donate your kidney to me? I'm in so much pain. Can you help me? I refused. No, you can forget about it. I hope you die. There was a moment of silence. Then I heard Chloe's voice. Liam, I didn't think that you would say those things about Ethan. Let him die? Liam, you're the one that should die. In her eyes, Ethan was a saint. And I, Liam, was a liar. I wanted to argue, but what could I say? It was useless to try to reason with someone who didn't believe you. Liam, you disgust me. Chloe ended the call. I signed the divorce agreement, and tears fell onto the paper. And then, I died. Chloe opened the bedroom door, but she didn't see me. She called my phone, and there was no answer. My phone was broken in the accident. She was so angry that I wasn't answering. She left me a voice message. Liam, you useless waste. You can't even ask for a divorce properly. You think that you're going to make me go soft by running away? Don't even dream of it. I'm signing the agreement. Good riddance. Without you, my life will be better. She took the divorce agreement and signed it. She sat on the sofa, looking lost. The hospital called. Ms. Liu, your husband's body has been in the morgue for 2 weeks now, and the time is up. What do you want to do with it? Chloe was silent for a minute, then she asked weakly, Whose body? Your husband, Liam. Chloe's phone fell onto the floor. How? It's not possible. He only had 1 kidney. Liam is lying again. She thought I was lying. When Chloe arrived at the hospital, her hair was a mess, and she was panicking. It looked like she was worried about me. A nurse wheeled out my body. It was all blue. She fell onto the floor, not daring to look. Impossible. How can he be dead? It's not real, not real. She touched me, and her hand was frozen. She heard herself cry, It's so cold. I always hated seeing her tears. Her eyes fell onto my hand, and she tried to pull it open. It was a silver ring. It was misshapen, like it was stuck in my flesh. It was her ring, our wedding ring. When I was at school, news that I was an orphan got out, and I was bullied. Then, Chloe transferred to our school. She pushed the bullies away and told the teachers. She saved me from the darkness. Later, Chloe's family lost all their money. I was there for her. We went to a workshop and made a pair of rings. Chloe said that we should carve our names inside. I heard that it makes your bond stronger. We wore the rings all the time. Then, after Ethan came back, she stopped wearing the ring. When I asked her where it had gone, she said that it was just a silver ring. It's not worth anything. I must have lost it. I said it was not just any ring. She mocked me, Liam, you aren't going to give me a ring like that, are you? My status needs a more expensive ring. I had sent her a lot of valuable jewelry, but she kept this ring. My voice was cold. Chloe, you didn't want Ethan to see you wear the ring, didn't you? She was guilty and angry. Liam, don't try to make it something that it's not. It's just a ring. You're being silly. They say that if you lose something that you cherish, your fate is over. She had thrown away my sincerity. Before the car crash, I had found her ring in the sofa. Maybe I was still hopeful. I rushed out of the house and was hit by a car. As I lay on the ground, I held the ring tightly. Before that, I had sent a message to Chloe. Chloe, I have something for you. She never read it. Chloe held the ring and looked broken. Liam, how could you die? You can't be dead. I never liked to see her cry, but now it was too late. Her tears didn't matter. Chloe found out from the doctor that I only had 1 kidney. She screamed at the doctor, How could you remove his kidney? The doctor pointed to Ethan's friend. He said that you wouldn't care if he died. Chloe grabbed him. How dare you say that? Who do you think you are? Before her hand could connect, Ethan spoke. Chloe, what is going on here? She stopped. She would never hurt Ethan. Chloe sent Ethan back and returned home with the ring. The first thing she did was rip up the divorce agreement. I didn't understand. This was what she had wanted. Why was she so unhappy? Chloe called Steve. How did Liam only have 1 kidney? What happened? Steve laughed. Chloe, you don't deserve Liam. You have to know that it was because of you that he only had 1 kidney. It's all your fault. 3 years after we graduated, Chloe wanted to start her own business. I gave her all my savings, $300,000. Chloe, you can do it. I'll always be here for you. Later, the company needed a lot more money. Chloe was also sick. She collapsed and found out that she had a tumor. The surgery cost $40,000. I had no choice but to sell my kidney. I only got $50,000 for it. After the surgery, She asked where I got the money. I lied. I bought a lottery ticket and won 50,000. I covered my wound and hid the truth. Luckily, her business got better. She called the lottery ticket our lucky charm and kept it in our room. Chloe looked at the lottery ticket, crying. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want her to feel guilty. I thought my love was worth it. But I had forgotten that love is a two-way street. When Chloe had introduced me to Ethan and clearly sided with him, the countdown had started. Chloe, why are you crying? You're just like Ethan. You are disgusting. Chloe shook her head. Ethan would never do that. I just laughed. Why did it matter? I was dead. Chloe went to the hospital to take care of Ethan. Chloe, why don't we have the wedding on the island? Ethan asked and took Chloe's hand. I saw Chloe stop. That was where we were going to get married. No. She was cold, and Ethan was confused. Sorry, I'm not feeling well. She kissed him. She was holding the ring, and it fell onto the floor. She went to grab it, but Ethan stepped on it. She pushed him away and picked up the ring and began to clean it. She had thrown the ring into the sofa cushions. What is that? Why are you so concerned about it? Ethan tried to take it from her, but she slapped his hand. Don't touch it. Ethan looked shocked. Chloe, I know that you were sad about Liam's death. I'll be there for you. He would always play the victim. In high school, he had spread the rumor that I was an orphan and encouraged others to bully me. When I was on the floor, he was always there, looking down at me. But to the teachers, he was a model student. When he had returned, Chloe had introduced me to him. He smiled. Hello. I'm Chloe's friend. I was overseas. I punched him. Chloe stood in front of Ethan and told me that I was wrong. Liam, are you crazy? How could you hit someone? How should I get my revenge? Since that day, Chloe and I began to have issues. Liam, I never thought that you would be like this. How could you blame an innocent man? She left, not seeing my face. Chloe looked at him. Ethan, did you lie to me? He said, Chloe, I would never lie to you. But Ethan did lie. The next few days, Chloe was different with Ethan. She was finally realizing that I was telling the truth. She went to see Ethan's friend. He admitted everything. We were listening to Ethan. He told us to do things. That kid looked annoying, so we taught him a lesson. He deserved to die. At least, Ethan can be with you now. She slapped him. He deserved to die? You deserve to die. You knew that he only had one kidney, yet you carried on the surgery. You're a murderer. Why do you care? You were the one who wanted his kidney. Aren't you the one who wanted to save Ethan? She was pale, but she couldn't argue. If you begin to doubt someone, everything else will begin to show. She learned the truth. How could you lie to me? How could you be with me after all of that? She was with the person who had hurt my husband. Ethan put on a sad face. Chloe, don't you trust me? She hit him. Chloe put the ring back on and began to hit him. Her face was covered in blood. He pushed her away. I saw her fall, but I didn't feel anything. It was just dogs fighting. Security dragged him away. Chloe fell to the ground. Liam, I'm sorry. I'm a sinner. I watched her, and I didn't feel anything. She was on the bed, surrounded by my clothes. She was crying. Liam, I miss you. I was disgusted. I had been alone in bed, while she was away for the whole month. I had wanted to hold her again, but it was only a dream. And now, I was only a dream for Chloe. A phone rang. Ms. Liu, her husband's body has been taken away by his friend. He said that he wants to take him to be cremated. When Chloe got to the crematorium, my body was ashes. Steve was holding the box and he looked at her coldly. Chloe, do you have any shame? She looked at my ashes. No, I haven't seen him for the last time. Steve tightened his fist. Do you think that Liam wanted to see you? Chloe, who made him lose his kidneys? Who made him die during the surgery? She fell to her knees. It's me. It's me. I'm sorry. Steve tried to leave her, but she grabbed his leg. Take him where? He is my husband. I want his ashes. He pushed her away. You have no right to hold his ashes. He told me that if he died, then put his ashes into the Eastern Sea. She stopped moving. 2 years ago, it was our anniversary. We were going to the Eastern Sea. But the day before, Ethan had a fever. She stayed with him and said coldly, "We're not going anymore. I need to be with Ethan. We will go next time." And I looked at the suitcases, my tears falling. That next time never came. When I was a baby, I was abandoned near the Eastern Sea. If a fisherman hadn't saved me, I would have been taken by the waves. Chloe had told me, "When it's our wedding anniversary, we can go to the Eastern Sea. You aren't an orphan anymore." But that dream never came true. I wanted to be in the Eastern Sea. But Chloe had changed that too. Chloe began to slap herself. Even with the sharp edges of the ring, she didn't stop. "Liam, I'm sorry. I deserve to die." Steve was not listening. I followed him as he left. I watched Steve arrive at the Eastern Sea, and I saw my ashes fly away. My last trace was now gone. I looked at my soul in the sea. What was I living for? They say that people become spirits if they have a strong attachment to the living world. But what was mine? Chloe began to take her anger out on Ethan. Ethan only wanted to be with her for her money. They had wanted to push the family up the ladder. But now, Chloe would push them down. Ethan went to see her. "Chloe, what are you doing? How could you do this to me?" She looked at him. "You're a monster. You bullied Liam, and then you took his life. You should die." She showed him the video. I hated them so much. Why was it me who had died? She looked at him. "I will make you pay." Chloe put him in prison. They all agreed that Ethan was the one to be arrested. Ethan was screaming as he was dragged away. "Chloe, you just wait. You're going to suffer." She was holding the ring and mumbled, "Liam, I finally got my revenge." I watched my body, and then a car rushed towards Chloe. It was Ethan's friend in the same car. Chloe was hit and flew away. Her ring rolled away. She tried to grab the ring, but it rolled into the drain. I watched her as she whispered and saw blood coming from her. She finally knew how much I hurt. Chloe was brought to hospital. There was a wet piece of paper near her heart. I could see that it was the lottery ticket, but it had been destroyed. She watched as the doctors threw it away. Her tears ran down her face. She was dying. I was hovering in the operating room and saw her soul escape. She saw me. "Liam, I see you. I'm so happy." She hugged me and kept saying, "I'm sorry." I pushed her away and smiled. She was stunned. I put her back into her body. "Chloe, you don't deserve to see me. Living in pain is better for you." I saw the fear in her eyes. The doctors did a few shocks, and Chloe's heart started beating again. The patient is alive. Chloe was alive, but she was in a vegetative state. I looked at her, with tubes everywhere. People who betrayed sincerity deserve to suffer. I flew to the Eastern Sea. I walked into the water. I hoped that in the next life, I would never meet Chloe again. The end.